Watching a film with friends, missing VHS videotape repeating.
Welcome back to Family Crew, Creeps and Peeps. Today we're looking at Hearts of Darkness.
This film is a $20 million disaster. Why won't anyone believe me? I'm thinking of shooting myself.
The best film of 1991, according to Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert, The Magic and the Madness of Making Apocalypse Now. This is a Paramount VHS release. Take a look at the inside. 1991, color 96 minutes, stereo, noise. Filming was scheduled to last 16 weeks. 1 year later, it was far from over. Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's apocalypse. I just now noticed this too, looking at this again, has like a barcode over the barcode. Or maybe that's blank back there and they had to swipe a barcode on it at the last second. In 1979, Francis Ford Coppola shook the film world with Apocalypse Now, a harrowing odyssey through the ravaged landscape of the Vietnam War. Now, more than 10 years later, the journey resumes with Hearts of Darkness, a riveting chronicle of the turbulent making of Apocalypse Now. Through on-the-set footage filmed by Coppola's wife, Eleanor, and recent interviews with the film's cast and crew, Hearts of Darkness is the fantastic history of a movie beset by physical and personal upheavals, the complete destruction of film sets by hurricane, the heart attack of leading man Martin Sheen, the director's own admission that he has no idea how the movie will end. Featuring the remembrances of Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Sheen, Robert Duvall, and Dennis Hopper, Hearts of Darkness is an unforgettable, unflinchingly honest account of a landmark film that was a miracle in the making. So produced by George Zaloom and Les Mayfield, great names. Executive producers Doug Claiborne and Fred Roos. Written and directed by Fax Bear, with George Hickenlooper. Documentary footage directed by Eleanor Coppola. This is probably the first movie I ever watched that was a documentary about the making of a movie. And when I say that, I can't think of any others that I've watched. I mean, they become pretty much staples now, ever since the advent of Laserdisc DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K 1000 HD up your whatevers, like ultra crap, like behind the scenes stuff and all that, special features, supplemental features. It's all just standard. But back then it was kind of rare to see stuff like this come out, especially like a full-length feature documentary about another movie. But I bought this directly off the shelf, brand new, from Video Library, my local mom and pop video store, because I think just before, a couple weeks before, I'd watched Apocalypse Now for the first time. Wow, this version here, which again I also bought from, these are actually on the shelf in their for sale section. So I bought this, watched it once or twice, and then went and picked this up. But this was brand new when I bought it as well. Widescreen. So funny and interesting to go back and watch both that movie and this movie after having been a fan of The West Wing for 20 plus years now, and just this completely different character, from Josiah Bartlett on The West Wing. But definitely a fantastic watch about the craziness behind this film, and behind probably most likely most films, ones of this caliber. And to think that this movie, I think, was made for $20 million. Comparatively now, I mean, probably in today's market, with inflation and everything, I mean, that's probably 100 million, which is about average. And now they make movies for 300 million and they're pieces of crap, like damn near all of them. But I've watched this thing probably a couple dozen times. They did do like a new fancy, because Coppola doesn't like to leave things alone. They put out like a 4K Ultra HD final version of Apocalypse Now that has like the original cut, the 2001 Redux cut, and then now one called the Final Cut. It's a 4 or 5 disc set, whatever. But then also included for the first time, I think, on disc, Hearts of Darkness, which I don't know if they did any kind of upgrade to it. I'll have to look at it. But I've always watched this on VHS. I've never seen this digitally. I've never watched it on DVD or any other form. It's always just been on VHS. So If you haven't seen this, if you're a film fan, this is definitely something to watch. I mean, just for anything other than just watching interviews with, you know, John Milius, George Lucas, like all these cats from like the, you know, in the 70s. And because there's some footage from them in the 70s making the film, and then there's the interviews that they did in 1991, but, you know, looking back on it, I mean, Lawrence Fishburne is like in his 20s, probably late 20s, being interviewed about, you know, making the movie when he was like 14 or 15. But this is probably the second most watched documentary that I've ever watched, followed by, well, following like the Paradise Lost movies on VHS, which I adore, you know, in some weird way. But I think it'd be a great double feature night. You pop in Apocalypse Now. I guess you can call it like a quadruple feature night. You watch Apocalypse Now, then you watch Apocalypse Now Redux, then you watch Apocalypse Now The Final Cut, and then you watch Hearts of Darkness, The Filmmaker's Apocalypse. Only take you about half a day or an entire day. A fantastic watch. Check it out. I mean, if you haven't seen this, it's definitely worth watching. As always, let me know what you guys think. Have you seen all 3 different versions of Apocalypse Now? Which one's your favorite? As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.